Support for this podcast comes from the good folks over at the Atrium. They provide the students here at Ball State food, fun, and a great environment to relieve stress. They're open Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. for anybody to stop by and grab a quick bite or just to socialize. Make sure to also stop in at the bookstore located in the Atrium for all of your Cardinal spirit wear needs.
Hi, welcome to our podcast. My name is Adam Hochstetler, and I'm currently a freshman here at Ball State studying sports administration with a minor in marketing. In my free time, I like to go to the rec and play basketball or just hang out with friends. I am being joined by Robin, Gabby, and Gage, and today we will be discussing the effects that Ball State's academics has on its student success.
Hi, I'm Gabby. I'm a student here at Ball State. I'm majoring in psychology with a minor in intermediate relations and also human development. I'm very involved on campus. I'm in Chi Omega sorority, a STEAM club member, and also a member in BSU Democrats. On a day-to-day basis, I'm normally very busy. I go to class, I volunteer for Muncie Missions in downtown Muncie, and try to make myself time to be with my close friends that I've made here at Ball State. I'm a Ball State Cardinal.
Hey, my name is Robin. My major is finance and my minor is computer science. While being deeply involved in my academic career, I have a passion for music and aspire to be a rapper.
My name is Gage. I'm a first semester freshman here at Ball State University. I plan on majoring in computer information systems with no planned minor. When I'm not in class or studying, I like playing tennis, hanging out with my friends, and exercising. At the end of the school year, I will be heading off to San Diego to hopefully join the Marines. In our podcast, we'll be discussing the stress of being a Ball State student and the effects it has. Using interviews, outside sources, and personal experiences, we have come to the conclusion that this stress drives Ball State students to work harder.
Since you're probably a high school student right now, you have experienced stress before. Transitioning to college is a little bit different. In college, you are very independent and you have your own schedule and less structure. Stress being thrown into that can either make you break down or make you prosper.
Yeah, I totally agree. Throughout the process of this project and our research, we each had to interview different Ball State students regarding their stress and how they handle the effects it has on them. I chose to interview my roommate Will and ask him how he managed his time to sort of reduce his stress. He said that he goes to class, and because I have so much free time in between, I like to do some homework in between class if I know I will have a busy night to sort of lighten the load for the night. This made me realize that not everybody here handles their stress the same way, especially not Will and I. I'm the type of person that will do everything I can to avoid having to do something right up until it's due. Interviewing him also gave me some insight on just how to manage my time as efficiently as possible. Oftentimes I would find myself doing other things in between my classes like watching YouTube or TV. This would make for a pretty stressful night as I would leave all my work to be done right before I go to bed, so it is nice that I have now found a new way to maybe lessen the amount of work I do so then I can do whatever I want at nighttime.
I interviewed a Ball State football player. When I asked him about stress at Ball State, he said that, due to football practices, I have to wake up early for practices and meetings. Since I am more focused on football, it is hard for me to balance classwork and homework with practice for football. I then asked him about what steps he has taken to deal with stress to get his desired outcome regarding football and his grades. He said, I realized that my grades weren't that great at the beginning of the semester, so I decided to distance myself from distractions while I'm in class and stay focused during lectures.
Personally, my college career so far has a lot of stress. Honestly, it makes me a better student. Also, being in a sorority comes with a lot of responsibility. There are requirements and high standards to uphold. Along with getting all my homework done and being in STEAM club, I'm super busy. Without all these clubs and activities, I wouldn't be the woman I am today. It has changed me for the better, and I have Ball State to thank. My big was when I interviewed. She has a little different stress than some of us. She said that I'm like 5% stressed out normally. She is a sophomore, so maybe she just has a better understanding of stress.
I'm probably in a small minority. Unlike most of my peers, I don't find myself to be under any dire stress. For the most part, I've been more than able to handle my extracurricular activities with my coursework in addition to frequent traveling. I've always been a great manager of time, and most of college I feel just revolves around time management. I interviewed my friend Tyler, who is a freshman majoring in computer science. When asked how stress impacts him, he stated, "I have found college to be very stressful so far, but every time I have been stressed out, I have managed to overcome it." When asked what he thought a Ball State student was, he said, "Someone who knows what they're doing, someone who knows how to have fun, someone who knows between right and wrong. It's hard to explain really, since I'm just a freshman."
I am actually the complete opposite. I have never been good at managing my time and always find myself waiting to the last minute to complete an assignment or study for quizzes or tests. But oftentimes, doing this, I feel more motivated to complete this assignment. This led me to look up potential reasons as to why this is, as well as how people manage their stress. According to an article posted on the University of Michigan's Health Center page, since we are responsible for bringing about much of our own stress, we can also do much to manage stress by learning and practicing specific stress reduction strategies. This led me to realize that although the mass amounts of assignments and other things going on do cause me stress, it is ultimately me causing myself the stress by procrastinating rather than just completing the assignment earlier or at least starting it earlier.
I actually did a little research on this. From psychologytoday.com, an article about stress in college students give out a bunch of factors that go into the way a college student is stressed. Leaving the family home, feeling intense pressure to obtain high grades in connection with career aspirations, taking final exams, trying to establish a romantic/social life, dealing with often very high costs of college, and possibly working at a job during the school year. What kind of jobs, if any, students can get after college also remains tenuous given the multi-year recession. Dr. Alan Riffman was the one who wrote the article, and reading all those things that makes a college student potentially stressed made a lot of sense to me.
For me, the number one thing that causes stress is my grades. The reason is that my grades aren't looking too good, and that's because I'm super lazy. My earliest class is at 12 p.m., and for all of October, I missed 2 out of 3 classes each week. It was alright until I took a look at my grades. I wasn't doing as well as I wanted to, and ever since then, I have been waking up early, going to class, and putting in work. So obviously, judging from this experience, I realized that stress really does motivate me to work. That was apparent, but the reason behind it wasn't. That's when I did some research about stress motivating people to work harder. An article written by John Brandon on Inc.com explains how stress is not fun, yet it can also motivate you to get work done. The article talks about how stress makes you more alert, therefore causing you to become more aware of the situation and thinking of possible solutions that may resolve the problem and eliminate your stress. This can be related to my situation because after seeing my grades, I became more aware of the situation and immediately started thinking of solutions that would help me fix my grade for that class.
I asked my RA what she thinks the Ball State student definition is. She said, students striving with ambitions beyond belief. So that just shows that even though most college students, specifically here at Ball State, are stressed, they push through till the end to meet their end goal. Like Robin was saying, his grades not being the best made him try harder. Robin totally could have just dropped out, but he kept pushing.
This all may seem very grim and may deter you from attending, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel. In fact, according to collegefactual.com, Ball State actually graduates 61.1% of its full-time undergraduate seekers on time. Now, you may see that there are still 40% of students who didn't make it, and that may seem like a scary number to you, and honestly, it was to me as well when I first saw it. But then I kept reading and found that this number is actually 7.9% higher than what the projected graduation rate is for the caliber of student who attends. Now, after hearing this, you may say, oh, it's just a bunch of numbers, but to me, this shows the overall resiliency of Ball State students. Even with all the stress of moving out of the house and adjusting to new life and more work, students are that much more driven to finish and get their degree because they know exactly where they want to get to. It also shows me that Ball State has effectively found ways to help kids manage this and get through it. Oftentimes, the stress of something like college can get to people, leading them to dropping out or just not really doing any work anymore because it's just too much. So for Ball State to provide the programs and help for kids with high stress and anxiety and be, what appears to me, pretty successful at it, shows just how dedicated and invested they are in helping us earn our degrees.
That's a very interesting set of statistics. One of the things I know that was really drilled into my mind prior to starting was that Ball State knows that college is going to stress people out. They recognize that as a fact, but they really do want to see us earn our degrees in 4 years and not just quit school. Ball State really invests a fair amount of time into its students because they want us to get that bachelor. Don't believe me? Just look at all that's offered to us. The school offers writing assistance, counseling sessions with other peers that may be studying for the same degree you are, and just about a billion tutoring sessions.
I'm glad that Gage brought up the different ways Ball State helps its students. I have used many of these resources myself. I'm not a very good writer, so when I had to write my first essay for the semester, the Writing Center helped me out. The Learning Center offers tutoring, and they help me prepare for the first major test I had to take.
I managed to get a hold of my friend Nicole, who is another freshman like us. She's working towards a degree in a sector of theater that primarily deals with stage management. She's told me a billion times what she's doing, but I just can't seem to remember what it is. I asked her about her experience with stress upon being a Ball State Cardinal, and she kind of had a positive addition about stress. The stress here is similar to what I had in high school because I had all different activities. It has made me super busy. I haven't had any real free time to relax or just time to myself, but it has definitely made me more organized, and I'm better able to manage my time and get enough sleep. When she stated that stress actually had somewhat of a positive influence on her, it surprised me because most of the time we don't associate stress with something positive. I also asked her what she thought the true identity of a Ball State Cardinal was. She had this to say: a Ball State Cardinal is definitely someone who is willing to work and definitely someone who wants to follow their dream. They're not going to settle for the safe option. They're going to go for what makes them happy. Much like what Gabby said earlier, even though stress does play a role in our lives, like it does in most people's lives, students here typically do not associate stress with the true identity of a Ball State Cardinal. Usually it's that common theme of an ambitious young person who wants to show the world what they've got.
I agree. The true identity of a Ball State Cardinal lies in his or her ability to overcome stress and different obstacles to reach their goals. Stress is just one of the factors that drive a Ball State student to reach above and beyond.
The Writing Center, located in the Robert Bell Building at Ball State University, helps with English majors or even just English courses. Come in to make an appointment for up to 50 minutes, either face-to-face, online, individual, or group session with our Writing Center to get some of our best Ball State writers' feedback to get extra credit points from your English professor or get an A on that essay.
The interview that I took and the source I looked at reinforced the idea that stress does in fact drive a Ball State student to work harder. I interviewed a student who is determined to be a great football player and also do well in his classes. Though he faces a lot of stress, he has made changes so that he can reach his goals. I also talked about how stress has driven me to either work harder or attend class to get better grades. The source that I looked at provides the reason that stress motivates people.
We also talked about personal experiences. For me, I was never good in school, and when I came to Ball State, yes, I was stressed out, but it's never made me want to achieve more. I was scared to apply to college too because I didn't know if I was good enough or even ready to move away from home because it was a little scary for me. When I get stressed out over that, I calm myself down by realizing how much I'm bettering my life as well as moving into the next chapter of my life. And instead of being stressed, I get excited, and I have no other to thank than Ball State.
During my research, I found out the different ways that students can help alleviate the stresses of college. Because although it does make us more driven, stress is not something that the body can stand for long periods of time, so it is nice to know how to sort of curb its effects. To get another perspective on how people manage their stress, I interviewed my roommate Will, who is also a freshman. He is under a lot of the same stress that I am, so it was nice to hear how he manages his time well enough to stay as stress-free as possible. In doing this, I found that not everybody handles the stress the same way, and was also able to find out new ways to manage my time to reduce the stress of the schoolwork.
Well, personally, I haven't found myself to be severely stressed out. Having interviewed two different individuals who both have incredibly busy schedules themselves, and of course, through the information that we discussed, I have found that indeed stress is a real part of the lives of a Ball State student. I know for me personally, my next years of my education will not be as easy as this first year was, but having heard what I did and learned what I did, I figured that while stress is a part of our lives as students, and indeed may be a component of our Ball State experience, it does not define us as Cardinals. Everyone in their interviews only displayed positives when it came to what the true identity is, and I know that my identity as a Ball State Cardinal is defined by the positive experience I want for my future. Stress is an unavoidable and necessary component of everyone's lives. but it is our jobs as students to overcome the stress we face in order to live the lives we want to live.
To review, we talked about the stress of a Ball State student and how it drives us to be better students. Ball State students are a lot of things, but most importantly, we are succeeders, achievers, and believers. Thank you for listening to our.
Are you stressed, have anxiety and/or depression? Join the community of over 500,000 students using WellTrack to take control of their mental health. Using your Ball State email address, WellTrack is free to you. Guided therapy for stress, anxiety, and depression, secure sharing with your counselor, relaxation techniques, and virtual Zen room. Mood check, the daily mood tracker, and last but not least, a personal progress dashboard. Join today and take back control of your mental health.